dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am loose, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, it's here I come. And I'm watching on to the knees I drown. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of wilderness hits my skin. Won't fly away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are passing through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors, and that's what we've become. Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. Oh, yeah, glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Here I come. And I'm marching on to the beats I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna calm me down, I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown it out. This is me, this is Bruce, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. I'm marching on to the beats I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Queen Ethelburga's Speech Day 2019. Before we begin the official proceedings today, there are just a few housekeeping announcements that I need to make you aware of. Now, we're not expecting an alarm today, but in the unlikely event of an alarm sounding, please be aware that there are 3 exits in the space, one just to the back of the room and 2 either side of the stage. Please follow the instructions from staff on duty and exit through your nearest door, unless it becomes crowded. You should then assemble on the AstroTurf at the front of this building until instructed that the alarm is over. Now, if you have a mobile phone, can you turn it off or onto silent now? And whilst you may wish to take photographs or film your child receiving an award this afternoon, we would like to remind you that photographs that include other people's children should not be uploaded onto social media without consent being given. Official photographs of prize winners will be taken in the Genesis Library at the end of this ceremony, and these will be available via the QE website from next week. And there will also be opportunities to take photographs outside in the lovely sunshine after the ceremony. After the ceremony today, you are warmly invited to enjoy some light refreshments in the marquee that you passed on your way in. And so, to the start of the official proceedings. In a few moments, we will welcome in our Year 13 leavers with a round of applause. The stage party will then enter, and they will take their seats immediately afterwards. All that remains for me to say is to wish you a fabulous and enjoyable speech day. Thank you.
Thank you to our choir there, because not only was that beautiful, but actually I think rather apt on a day like today, so well done. Mrs. Mylene class, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, mums and dads, staff members, and most importantly, our students. Welcome to our 2019 Speech Day. My first thanks of the day go to school board members, or should I say my second thanks of the day actually, this morning, but I'm still very grateful for all that you've done. Chris Hall, Jackie Hales, Lawrence McKell, Karen Housley and Matthew Adshead. As always, their time and input has been so truly valuable throughout the year. A hearty thanks go to Steve Jandrell, Dan Machin, Kevin Aldershaw and Erica Papaglimis, along with their superb teams of staff throughout our 4 schools, and for all of their hard work, dedication and good humour. As most of you know, we have a huge team behind the scenes as well, across many departments, estates, IT, catering and housekeeping, and all of our office staff. And a thank you to them as well for all the work that they've done to ensure we're looked after to an exceptional standard. I don't think there's anyone that I've spoken to in the last couple of weeks who hasn't said how quickly this year has gone. And it gets quicker each year. A King's Magna student at lunch described it to me as life was on fast forward. But our students find a way to achieve more each year than they did the year before. A Year 12 student who joined us this year asked me, "What exactly is Speech Day, miss?" with the usual roll of the eyes. And I'll admit, from an older student's perspective, it surprised me because Speech Day is Speech Day. You know, it's just a given. And then you realise that it's not just an excuse for the academic staff to wear their gowns. It's not our way of finding things to keep IT and estates and catering busy, but it's actually a very important day where we get to come together at a truly special occasion, and we get to celebrate a terrific endeavour, wonderful aspiration and impressive achievement from the year. But we have to encapsulate this into 2 hours. Today is about our students, of course, but first I would like to address our staff and say a very heartfelt thank you. They are just 2 words, but they are hugely important. Our staff work hard, and they are committed to delivering the very best. What I've seen this year is just how well our staff know our students, and that they genuinely care for their well-being. They bring a strong sense of rapport, a welcome ear, and of course, their wealth of knowledge and experience. I don't think a month passes without me delivering a long-term service presentation to a member of our team, and it's a great part of my role and one that I find an absolute privilege. For every award that I present, I know that I'm in that unique position that gets to thank that staff member and of course present them with their eagle. This academic year alone, we have presented 42 Eagles for 7 years of service, 27 Eagles for 10 years of service, and 4 Eagles for 15. The loyalty, commitment, and dedication that our teams contribute to our students and our collegiate is remarkable. This is shown across all of our staff, whether you've received that first Eagle or you're on the highest milestone of 34 years. Please join me in showing our appreciation for all that they do. One word that I have no doubt that you will hear many times today is inspection, and rightfully so. February gave us an opportunity to show just what we're made of, and after a rigorous inspection process, we were awarded the highest ratings of outstanding in our early years and excellent across our 4 schools from year 1 upwards. Inspection results are not just achieved from 1 long week of intensive hours. Quite the opposite. They are achieved from year-round effort and commitment from our staff and students year on year that ensured that our exceptional result was achieved and truly deserved. I don't think I could have been prouder, and I shouted it from the rooftops, and I quickly corrected anyone who thought that excellent was not as good as outstanding. I told them that we'd basically done the best that you could get. I was proud that our students had the opportunity to show off how amazing they are, talented, spirited. I was proud that the work done by staff was recognised officially and not just known internally. On an academic front, the recent inspection summarised our students' achievements best. Inspectors reported that students in the faculty of all ages seek to achieve the best of their ability and make excellent academic progress. In college, likewise, inspectors reported that students make excellent progress across all areas of learning, and they have a strong desire to take responsibility for their own learning. Having had another excellent year for university applications, the prospects for our senior students are outstanding. Sports teams continue to build on last year's successes, with our basketball team ranking in one of the top 16 in the country. 22 of our students brought home 14 medals from the latest North of England ISA championships. Rugby, hockey and netball have represented at a national level, and the senior football team has beaten all but one of the professional clubs that they have played. Our 4-in-a-row sports dinners continue with great vigour, and our Sporting Excellent dinner at Rudding Park was a fantastic evening for the senior teams. This year, students have dived in Gozo, helped nurture elephants in Thailand, experienced crucial historical insight at Auschwitz, and enjoyed the STEM trip to NASA in Texas, to name just a few. On home turf, our activities programme covers in excess of 100 options over the course of 3 terms. Enrichment here at QE is very much true to its name. Our QE students continue to make a difference with a record-breaking achievement this year for charities, helping over 23 charities across the year. The annual Race for Life event always brings a quiet sense of reflection when you actually see just who the students are running for on the back of their t-shirt. The breadth of charity fundraising highlights all of those causes that our students choose themselves to recognise, many of which are personal to them, so well done to you all. Investing in our campus is something that we feel is incredibly important, and it continues at a strong pace. Our Estates Department have done a beautiful job with the latest boarding house, and it's now complete and occupied. The team have worked hard to make it home from home, and I think it's safe to say they've done a fantastic job. The team have moved eagerly straight on to the refurbishment of Abbey Chambers boarding house, which will be completed in stages throughout the year. Our new pastoral area for all students was opened at the start of the year, and they have made it their own. It is fantastic to see the level of support and care provided to our community from the pastoral hub. The ground storage sheds have been completed, along with our atrium kitchen. This year has also seen us invest in new school vehicles, which service both day and boarding students. Gone are the green Delikas, replaced with a full fleet of new minibuses and cars. It was 3 years ago that I delivered my first speech day as chair of the Collegiate Board. At the time, the nation was in complete confusion as politics took an unprecedented turn, with, dare I say the word yet again, Brexit, and another change of leaders. Each year, major political events seem to tie into when I'm writing my speech, and it doesn't get any better. In fact, quite the opposite, it seems, in this country. But it is these moments that I'm glad that we are an independent school. We are in control of our own investment and our own students and our direction moving forward. As I said at the start, Speech Day is a great day for reflection. It is a highlight of the calendar year, and it is important that we take this time to pause and look back. But for me, what truly drives me is the future of QE. After the inspection result and feedback, it would be easier for us to say we could relax now. But that's not in our nature, and it's not what we're about. In fact, reading the reports that we received simply motivates us to continue developing and enhancing the provision for our students here. Our staff teams are passionate. They know that your children have one opportunity for an education and a childhood, and that we play a critical part of that. Our students are our finest ambassadors. You are smart, resilient, driven, determined, passionate, but with that little bit of grit. You succeed beyond measure, and you also overcome the inevitable knockbacks that happen to us all. You're considerate, respectful, and full of character with that quiet confidence. So year 13, where are you? Are you spread out? Yeah. You are the ones who brighten up my last night of term. because I can hear the cheers and the merriment bellowing out of the atrium as I walk home. They say that the end can be a start, and isn't that the truth? The end of your school days often brings a range of emotions. These can vary from when will my exams be over to yes, they finally are. From wanting to run from the gates and never return to not wanting to admit that there might be that small shred of nervousness about leaving QE community and your friends that you've been with for so long. And from being ready for that independence to realizing that you're not in the same place that you have been for all of those years. When we say that you're always welcome, we mean it. Our community is a constant. A few words of wisdom before you head off onto your new chapter. Opportunity is everywhere, but the key is to develop the vision to see it. It doesn't matter how great your shoes are if you don't achieve anything in them. It's hard to beat a person who never gives up. Importantly, before you marry a person, make them use a computer with slow Wi-Fi, probably when they're hungry, just to see who they really are. We judge ourselves based on our thoughts, but the world judges us based on our actions. I, for one, am hugely proud that QE will have played a part, no matter how small, in your chapter of the story of your life. And you should be proud not just of your achievements, but the fine young men and women that you're in the process of becoming. You have aspired, endeavoured, and achieved, and I have no doubt you will continue to do so as you travel on your life's journey. Make sure you have a little fun along the way. So on that note, I wish all of our Year 13 the very best of luck in your new chapter. To the rest of you, I hope you have a good summer holiday, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Finally, I would like to thank you, the parents and the grandparents and the guardians. You make personal sacrifices for your children to be able to attend QE, and we are hugely grateful for that. We are committed to delivering the very best. Thank you.
Smiling class, chair and members of the Collegiate Board, honoured guests, parents, friends, and the reason we are all here, students of QE. This year, much of my work has been done for me. In February, with 1 day's notice, we were descended upon for 3 days by 19 independent school inspectors. They investigated all 4 schools, producing 2 full reports. One for the college, King's Magnet and Chapter House, and the other for the faculty. They reported on our regulatory compliance, our basic standards met, and much more importantly, our educational quality, judgments on the achievements and personal development of the young people in front of me. I'm more than delighted that the extremely hard work of our staff and students and the support of parents over so many years was rewarded with the highest possible judgments in all areas. Not only that, but the effusive language used to describe many aspects of life at QE suggested that our aspiration to be seen as one of the world's leading schools is well within our grasp. In view of the conclusion that students in all areas of the collegiate make excellent progress and that the achievements and personal development of pupils are of the highest order, I will dispense with the usual academic review and move straight to the specific achievements from so many areas of our schools that contribute to that overall judgment of excellence. In mathematics, 85 Key Stage 4 students entered the Intermediate Maths Challenge. 68 received certificates. 33 received gold, placing them amongst the most elite mathematicians nationally. 26 consequently qualified for the International Kangaroo Competition, with 6 receiving certificates of merit. 6 students were invited to compete in the highly demanding Maclaurin Olympiad. Olympiad competitions are designed to inspire and challenge students at degree level. Of these, Kelvin Lee and Trevor Wang gained certificates of distinction, with Trevor also receiving a medal which places him in the top 100 students nationally. In Key Stage 5, 116 out of 159 students received certificates in the National Senior Mathematics Challenge. 45 of them gold, putting them amongst the finest of this already elite group. 10 of these students qualified and took part in the British Mathematical Olympiad Round 1. Grace Chan and Bridget Lynn achieved a Certificate of Merit. 24 students qualified for the International Senior Kangaroo, with 5 gaining Certificates of Merit. In the Mathematical Olympiad for Girls, a competition for the most mathematically gifted girls in the UK, Claudia Zhao Kubiku and Amelia Wigglesworth gained distinctions, an astonishing achievement. In science, 2 Year 13 students, Kai Wang and Maya Dudko, achieved the Gold Award in the Biology Olympiad. Kai gained a gold medal last year, while a year younger than most contenders. Dorothy Cheng won the Gold Award in the Chemistry Olympiad, one up from her silver last year. In the Physics Olympiad, Nigel Luo was in the top 100 students nationally, earning a gold medal. At junior level, Celine Wu gained gold in the GCSE Physics Challenge. Discovery is a science initiative that involves experimental research. Izzy Chelik, Chibo Chen, Maya Dudko, Aaron Johnston, Phoebe Spencer collaborated on a laboratory-based project to make 2 well-known biological active molecules in a so-called one-pot reaction, a significant improvement on the published methodology. Their outstanding novel work is being written up for publication in a peer-reviewed science journal. A more detailed report is with the British Science Association for the Crest Award at gold level, and we await the outcome. QE students participated in the Thales Group Future Martians competition, designing 3 experiments to be sent to the edge of the Earth's atmosphere. GCSE students attended an event with world-class scientists, such as Robert Winston, inventor of the in vitro fertilization technique. 25 A-level students took part in the International Particle Physics Masterclass at Durham University. using real data from the Atlas experiment, one of the 4 major areas of research at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN in Geneva, to search for the signs of the W boson, an elemental particle of matter. Their results were discussed in a video conference linking other students from Germany and the Czech Republic with the scientists from CERN. In Operating Theatre Live, 60 students considering careers in medicine, dentistry, veterinary science or biological sciences had a rare opportunity to sharpen their scalpels and top up their knowledge of anatomy with a live dissection similar to preclinical studies at university. Both National Science Week and Chemistry Week were celebrated with gusto, with numerous activities for the full range of students. With competitions at York University and St Peter's School and participation in the Oxford University Science Writing Competition, it has been a busy year. The end of the year was rounded off with an impressive second place in the prestigious University of York Molecular Modeler Competition for Maya Dudko and Derek Lee. One of the aims of our science department is to communicate issues to do with science, engineering and technology to non-specialists, and our flagship annual discussion forum was attended by 220 students. It posed the question, whatever happened to the promise of the robotic butler? A team of 4 sixth formers eloquently presented an overview of the current exciting developments in robotics, and questions were posed to 3 leading university academics in the field. To recognize their authoritative communication of this broad subject based on their extensive research, could we please welcome Johnny Lee, Esme Court Johnson, Aaron Johnston and Maya Dudko to the stage. In ICT, Key Stage 4 students achieved success in the Bebris Challenge, an international initiative to promote the use of computational thinking. Trevor Wang and Gillian Chan were amongst the top 10% nationally, with Gillian achieving a distinction in the second round. Another Key Stage 4 student, Cyrus Arabini, has received a certificate from the University of Nicosia for completing a course on the understanding of decentralized digital currencies, such as Bitcoin and blockchains. This university is the first in the world to issue certificates on the Bitcoin blockchain. In the Young Enterprise competition, Irina Buidova, Leo Say, Selina Liu, Elliot Scarf, Catalina Wardman and Cherry Wu achieved great success with the launch of their product, PageKeep, which helped solve a problem that many students had encountered using books. In the first round, they won the awards for Best Company, Best Customer Service. In the regional round, they went on to win the award for Sustainability. They were also runners-up in another competition run by the Business of Science for Innovation. They had amazing feedback from industry professionals, including some very informative discussions with a patent lawyer. Our Creative BTEC business students set up their own Enterprise Business Day, working with Year 7, where everyone enjoyed and showcased their talent at an upcycling fashion event. Atiana Boss, Alexandra Kildyusheva, and Vladimir Galgiev were instrumental in making this an excellent day. In economics, Mikhail Medvedov and Evgeny Osanin have ensured their revision in both Year 12 and 13 will be remembered by all by creating an economics rap. Some of us heard part of it at last night's Leavers service. This featured scenes around the Collegiate, Leeds and York and is definitely worth checking out on YouTube. Economics is an abiding passion for many at QE, but one student has taken this to a particularly high level, competing in numerous national competitions. Have a look at Shibo Chen's entry for the Economics Prize in the program. Shortly, he will be coming to the stage to receive the Economics Prize. In history, GCSE students have learnt about medicine through time in a visit to the Thackeray Medical Museum and participated in a workshop on the impact of the First World War. A-level historians have researched topics ranging from the dissolution of the Soviet Union to women's suffrage for their non-examined assessment. Sophia Bednova, Bradley Sheck, and William Chadwick Rayner put their historical knowledge and skills to good use in the foundation essay competition, discussing the Martin Luther King quote, "We are not makers of history, we are made by history." Geography students' fieldwork has taken in Leeds, looking at the quality of life, Scarborough measuring the success of regeneration schemes, Pickering assessing the success of leaky dams, and the studying of the coastal process along the Holderness coastline. Year 13 students have looked at globalization in Florida and rural rebranding effects in Thirsk due to the success of the Yorkshire Vet television series for their non-examined assessment. There have been many outstanding accomplishments in English, but one student stands out. Naturally gifted, she challenges herself constantly to improve. With the highest number of 9s in her assessments, she is also the holder of the English department's Time and Place Essay Prize, the Poetry by Heart Trophy, and the Prose from the Heart Trophy, a hat-trick that has never been achieved by the same person before. Rihanna Theakston's achievements will be recognised shortly with the Key Stage 4 English Prize. It's been a very busy year in the MFL department, but it was decided to recognise all that had been achieved with an international food tasting festival for senior students. They took advantage of the chance to sample some authentic French, Spanish and German cuisine to celebrate their considerable accomplishments over the year. One only has to look around QE to see the quality of so much work in art and design. Our Year 13 art group are typical in the breadth of their interests, with individuals tackling work in gestural portrait painting, photography, hyper-realistic painting and recording, and from 3D pieces to digital manipulation. They are all going on to study in the creative world. In design technology, students have worked with computer-aided design, 3D printing, ceramics, plastics, laser cutting, concrete and pewter casting, producing such products as toys for children with special needs, an EpiPen dispenser, a folding walking frame, and an offshore portable turbine to provide power to remote villages and towns. We began the year in art with 3 national honours in the Independent Schools Association competition. Charles Yang and Kar-Wing Tam were highly commended in the 3D category at Key Stage 4 and 5. However, the national runner-up in the Key Stage 5 drawing category was a student who also studies science and maths and is a superb musician, entertaining us regularly with piano performances. To recognise his immense contribution to QE and his various accomplishments at very high quality in art, music, science and mathematics, I welcome Terry Feng to the stage. There have been many musical highlights this year, ranging from the excellent concerts to formidable examination success. In the autumn term, after 8 weeks rehearsal, a 20-piece student orchestra accompanied Beauty and the Beast, a full concert of challenging orchestra music. At Christmas, in addition to our traditional carol service, QE choirs performed festive concerts at Fountains Abbey, sang at local care homes, and entertained at the grand opening of the Boroughbridge Late Night Shopping. House music was a display of outstanding solo performances, the culmination of 6 months of practice. All accompaniment was carried out by our accomplished advanced student pianists. We performed alongside regional community choirs at the Joseph Rowntree Community Choir Festival. This year saw outstanding achievement from our advanced musicians. Rhonda Lung and Yimin Ung both attained the ARSM diplomas on piano and cello respectively. Keshin Chen and Yihan Chen became QE's first students to be offered places to study at conservatoires, Keshin at Trinity Laban and Yihan at the Royal Northern College of Music. The summer term featured our annual schools choir festival, involving all of the QE choirs performing alongside local primary schools and Boroughbridge Community Choir. With individual performances as well as part of a massed choir, it was a real celebration of the joy of singing. For a tiny flavour of our excellent music, let's welcome a student as yet unmentioned who has been a colossus in his contribution to music at QE and is destined to study music at Cambridge. With a short extract from Beethoven's The Tempest, please welcome Freeman Locke. There are not many players who can play classical pieces as well as that, but also have an amazing ability at improvisation, who can just sit at a piano and, as they make it up as they go along, produce amazing music. Well done, Freeman. In drama, our tradition has been upheld with some wonderful performances, including the superb main production of Beauty and the Beast and an enthralling tour de force in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. These productions featured 3 students whose achievements have been exceptional. The first has been accepted by RADA, LAMDA, and the New York Film Academy this summer. The second has been offered a place at ALRA and was highly commended in the National Independent Schools Association Shakespeare Monologues competition. The third has been offered places at ALRA, Drama Studio London, and the Central School of Speech and Drama, the last of which is where he plans to study. It is increasingly rare for a young actor aged 18 to be offered a place at such prestigious drama schools. They are normally told to go away, get more life experience, and apply later. For our students to gain 3 offers at this age is truly exceptional. To celebrate this amazing achievement and their prodigious talent, I'm going to invite the 3 students to their spiritual home, the stage. And when the first 2 have received certificates, I have asked the last to perform an extract in the role of Leontes from Shakespeare's A Winter's Tale. Please welcome Diana Budko, William Bland, and Jack Gallagher.
to mingle friendship far as mingling bloods. I have tremor for it. My heart dances, but not with joy. Not joy. It's entertainment. May a free face put on derive a liberty from heartiness, from bounty, fertile bosom, and well become the agent. To me, I grant. But to be paddling palms and pinching fingers as now they are, and making practiced smiles as in through a looking glass, and then to sigh as for the more to the dear. Oh, that is entertainment that my bosom likes not, nor my brows. Emilius, art thou my boy? Oh, effects, why, that's my boarcock. What, hast smutched thy nose? Come, Captain, we must be neat. Not neat, but cleanly, Captain. And yet the steer, the heifer, and the calf are all cold meat, still virginally upon his palm. How now, you wanton calf? Art thou my calf? They say we are almost like as eggs. Women say so. That they will say anything, but were they false? As though dyed blacks, as winds, as waters, as false as dice are to be wished upon by the one that fixes no born twixt his and mine yet. Were it true to say this boy will like me? Most dearest Colin, can thy damn? May it be.
I've spent all year wondering who he reminds me of, and there are definite shades of Kenneth Branagh lurking there somewhere. Well done, Jack. Thank you. In dance, interested students took part in a number of auditions alongside hundreds of others for a place with the Northern School of Contemporary Dance. And alongside of a couple of students from King's Magna, Alex Stilley secured a much-coveted place with them. The focus for much of our dancing is the Gym and Dance display. Another huge success in its 10th year, watched by over 1,500 people, with each night sold out. 240 students participated in the biggest ever display. Major contributions came from Will Bland, Anson Chan, Mikhail Medvedov, Karwing Tam, Queenie Tai, and Ruth Hartley Roberts. However, a special thank you goes to one student who, after 3 displays, has taken Latin dance at QE to a new level. After the opportunity in this year's show to dance with professional Ben Jones, she has been offered a place in Amy Dowden and Ben Jones Dance School, Art in Motion Dance Academy, and has been partnered with a male dancer. Ekaterina begins serious training this summer and has her first competition in November. Let's watch a very brief video of her performance with Ben Jones.
Played it hard and fast 'cause I had everything.
Although the quality of the video is not great, you can see the quality of the dancing. That dance was devised and rehearsed in 40 minutes. A truly stunning dancer who's made a massive contribution to QE. Please welcome Ekaterina Solimino. It's been a wonderful year on the sports field, rounded off with our sports dinner at Rudding Park, where we were honoured to have former British Lions rugby coach Sir Ian McGeechan as guest speaker. It was Sir Ian, who came to QE about 8 years ago, who suggested that we ran high-level sport courses, as he was concerned that many students did not take up such courses as they and their parents were concerned about the education that went alongside it. What an inspired idea that was, and there are now so many students who have benefited both academically and in their sport from what followed. This is an area of QE life we intend to build on further as we go forward. To recount the list of students with county academy and regional honours at their age group would take until tomorrow. So I will confine myself to senior national achievements. In cricket, amongst the many students who have played for county academy sides, particularly Yorkshire and Durham, Finlay Bean, as he turns just 17, has played for the senior Yorkshire second team. He scored 74 against Worcestershire in his third game. Johnny Pears and Dan Cook will both attend the Darren Lehrman Cricket Academy in Adelaide this winter, a world-class academy used by many of our and other countries' most successful professional players. Our netballers, following their triumph last year in the National Schools competition, again reached the national finals in this top event. In rugby, Joe Sorden gained national honours when he took part in the Independent School Barbarians Tour of South Africa. In football, Luke Quinn received his international cap for representing the Independent Schools under-18 football team against Wales. Cian Johnson and Luke Hemingway both represented the Independent Schools under-17 national football team against Scotland, Brighton and Sheffield United. Matthew Coleman and Jack Downs holds football scholarship offers from American universities. Matthew from Urbana University, Ohio, and Jack has 3 offers from which to choose. Some of our sportsmen and women are involved in important matches today, but to represent the high-level achievement across the whole area, I'd like to invite Joe Sorden, member of the National Independent School Barbarians Rugby Tour to South Africa, to the stage. It's been another record-breaking year in co-curricular activities. In the Duke of Edinburgh Awards scheme, 8 students have completed gold, 36 their silver, and 17 the bronze. We now have our highest ever success rate, with more students than ever completing all sections of their award. Our enrichment visits took students to the Blackpool Illuminations, indoor skydiving in Manchester, and to learn about the Beatles in Liverpool. Our most popular UK residential took students from years 3 to 13 sightseeing in London, to a West End show, and to represent the collegiate at an act of remembrance at the Iraq-Afghanistan Memorial in Whitehall. Our Mission to Mars trip took students interested in careers in STEM to the NASA Space Center in Texas, whilst our annual diving residential returned from the Mediterranean with many qualified divers. We had our 3rd elephant conservation trip to Thailand and took our first very poignant visit to Auschwitz-Krakow. Tomorrow, our community project Zambia trip departs to carry out work at Gota Gota School. Whilst revisiting many countries worldwide next year, we will be taking in new destinations such as Berlin, Geneva, Moscow and Sardinia in Europe, Jordan in the Middle East, and even New Zealand with a backpacking trip down under. Success in wider activities is exemplified by our fencers, who took part in the recent Yorkshire Youth Championship BYC qualifier in fencing. In foil, Kelvin Lung received gold, and Nicholas Chan and Kevin Kan gained bronze. In the épée section, there was a silver for Maxim Veprev. As ever, the combined cadet force has had an excellent year, with activities including visits to the York Army Museum and Elvington Airfield, the Winter Warmer exercise in November at Warcop, Cumbria. I can't help feeling there's a little irony in the name Winter Warmer. I expect they were frozen most of the time. A regimental dinner night for staff and cadets, a visit to the Defence School of Transport, a 10-day overseas exercise in Gibraltar, adventurous activities for 5 days in North Wales, and cadets leave today for the annual camp at Nestcliff. At this point, we traditionally recognise the CCF Cadet of the Year. This student has given immense service to the contingent, but is also a very strong academic, gaining a distinction in the Mathematical Olympiad for girls. She has contributed hugely to STEM and engineering activities, as well as holding an Arkwright Scholarship. Please welcome to the stage the CCF Cadet of the Year, Amelia Wigglesworth. It's been pleasing to see this year how many students cover so many different activities, each individual student. Well done, Amelia. In community outreach, over 200 students have assisted with projects in the local community, including helping at a local care home, designing and laying the candle displays at a special event in Ripon Cathedral, and volunteering with PhysioNet, loading physiotherapy and mobility equipment for shipment to countries such as Fiji, India and Mexico. In conjunction with Knaresborough Rotary Club, students have planted crocus bulbs at the collegiate entrance to raise awareness of End Polio charity. They have contributed to the Salvation Army Christmas toy collection and recently provided a quiz, live music and afternoon tea for guests from a local Contact the Elderly group. Students in the faculty have delivered sports workshops to develop the motor skills of students from the Forest School, a special school for communication and interaction, and also helped them to create a Chinese New Year dragon. Year 10 faculty students furthered their sports leadership by acting as young leaders at the North Yorkshire Inclusive Schools Rugby Tournament in May. Our young sports leaders continue to support 5 local primary schools at our outreach sports tournaments hosted here at QE, assisting with coaching, scoring and umpiring. And we were delighted to welcome visiting secondary schools to a BBC Bite-Size event in March, where guest panellists discussed creative careers. This year has been as busy as ever for our charitable work, raising large amounts for 23 different charities. We have 40 students on our charity committee organising events and raising awareness. We collected, wrapped and sent 110 shoeboxes to the Rotary Shoebox Appeal, helping underprivileged families in Eastern Europe. Students carefully wrapped and sold roses on Valentine's Day, with £1,500 raised. Clearly romance is alive and kicking at QE. £1,000 of that money went to the Little Princess Trust, while £500 went to a local charity, Freddie's Fight. We have paid for a group of homeless children in York to have a fun day out at Alton Towers, as well as raising £1,300 for the Akira team. This money will pay for urgently needed medical equipment and food to be taken and distributed in the Gambia this summer. One of our students, Marwa Aitcham, will be accompanying her father on this visit and personally distributing the goods that we have supplied. As the year ends, and such a successful one, it's important to thank everyone, from the collegiate board through the academic and boarding staff to the literally hundreds of support staff. We all have our different roles, but like a well-oiled machine, everyone has to play their part to encourage the successes we've celebrated today. To those who are leaving us, we thank you for your hard work and commitment and wish you well for the future. To our Year 13 leavers, I pass on these thoughts. Our inspection reports talked enthusiastically about the quality of your personal development, your ability to take on a challenge, your strong understanding of what is right and wrong, and your respect for others as individuals. You have what is needed to face the challenges of the world. And the world at the moment is a challenging place with many problems to solve. And many of you will be in positions of considerable influence in the future. Perhaps the words of J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame from when she addressed students at Harvard University are appropriate. If you choose your status and influence to raise your voice on behalf of those who have no voice, if you choose to identify not only with the powerful, but with the powerless, if you retain the ability to imagine yourself into the lives of those who do not have your advantages, then it will not only be your proud families who celebrate your existence, but thousands and millions of people whose reality you will have helped change. We do not need magic to transform the world. We carry all the powers we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. Go out into the world and fly like an eagle, and don't forget the lessons that you've learned. As far as QE is concerned, despite successful inspection reports, we will not be resting on our laurels. There is always more work to be done, and if you're not going forwards, the chances are you're going backwards. As a musician, I'm familiar with the adage, you're only as good as your last performance. And if ever I feel personally that I'm in danger of becoming complacent or self-satisfied, I remind myself of the headmaster who was very proud of what he had achieved in becoming head of a prestigious school. One day he turned to his wife and he said, "Darling, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that one day I would be giving the headmaster's speech at such a great school?" She looked a little taken aback. "Darling," she said, "you never appear in my wildest dreams." Thank you.
Reflections on QE. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, and the leavers of 2019. Before our guest speaker offers her insight and experience, I would like to take this opportunity to offer some of my own on my time here. So please allow me to share 3 short stories on my past 4 years at QE. Not that I only have 3 stories, the others didn't quite make it past the censorship. The first is about friends. I'm sure all of us have people we can share good memories with, even if the memories are a bit blurred and hard to recall in the morning. Coming from an international metropolis like Shanghai, I was somewhat hesitant when my parents told me I was to attend Queen Ethelburgers, which, by the way, is an extremely difficult name to learn to pronounce. After finally figuring out the school wasn't located on the east coast of America, but instead in the countryside of Yorkshire, honestly, I wasn't expecting to join such a diverse and vibrant community. Over the past 4 years, I have had the incredible privilege to befriend people from almost every continent on the planet. I think I'm just missing the Arctics. The diversity is a true blessing. I personally find it mind-boggling how we have all gathered from around the world, and now as year 13s, we're heading back out across the country and the world. The leavers of the class of 2019 are going on to things as interesting and widespread as our community is. Although some of the things we've done together, I wouldn't trust the future engineers. So as our last few hours at QE draws to a close, it has been a remarkable journey for me personally. Though bumpy at times, if it was not for QE, I would have never had the opportunity to meet brilliant individuals who I can call my friends. The second experience is about growth. You see, if at the end of the road, it's all but a collection of memories, I would reminisce on moments such as being absolutely soaked and exhausted for 4 days in the Yorkshire Dales on Duke of Edinburgh, peer mentoring year sixes who never seem to run out of energy, and being encouraged by my wild friends Anson and Mike to perform Bollywood for gym and dance, just to name a few. It's definitely been a weird one, and these only remind me why we need insane friends who push you to do crazy things. You know, I still remember my first QE speech days 4 years ago when I sat there in my blue jumper, watching then head boy Alan deliver his speech. I remember thinking to myself, man, I wish I knew what it feels like. It must be the most daunting experience speaking in front of so many. Well, 4 years later, and here we are. Be careful what you wish for. Needless to say, it was a great honor to be offered the head boy position by Mr. Jandrel. Although, Miss Blakely, I'm still not impressed by how you tricked me into coming to your memorial. For any future year 12s next year who are asked by her for a subject interview, don't be late. You may just become the next head boy. Working with 50 of the craziest, varied, and amazing individuals on the prefect team has been an experience. You guys have taught me so much, and definitely not made my job easy. I'm sure Mia and my brilliant deputies would agree as I ask Antoine, Mikkel, Poppy, and of course, Sergeant Major Alice to make yet another rota for me. Thanks, Sergeant, for carrying the team. I call it the delegation of tasks, but they find it as an abuse of power. On a serious note, though, it has been a pleasure, and I've learned so many things I simply cannot learn from a textbook, and I find that the most valuable. The last story is about the teachers. Without them, there would be no school, and I have no doubt in saying we have been blessed with some of the finest teachers here who support us both academically and pastorally. Nowadays, life seems like a checklist. Success is solely based on your achievements, but not the story or the struggle you endured behind the scenes. Luckily for me, I have had the privilege to have met some great teachers who set aside those mainstream expectations and ask, "Are you okay?" when the going got tough. It is at this moment that I would like to thank 3 individuals who have made my time here, especially year 13, extra special. Again, not that I only have 3 people to thank, but I will be here until the next speech day if I'm to name them all. Miss Butler, you have seen me through some of my toughest times in year 13. Sorry I may be a bit late with my prep at times, but thank you for always being there for me alongside Mr. Wild and Miss Foster. I'm sure year 13 college can agree with me when I say our journey couldn't have been completed without the help from Mr. Porteous. For me, he has been there since the start of my time at QE. He has gone from coaching me in football in year 10 to sending off my university applications in year 13, both equally important. You may see the last teacher I'm about to mention around pastoral dressed as the grandpa from Disney film Up. The self-proclaimed George Clooney lookalike never failed to put a smile on my face, even when the academics become overwhelming. Thank you, Mr. Lofthouse, for making QE not just a school, but a home. From teaching to boarding, teachers, I don't think I will ever be able to express my gratitude in words. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the real star players. Coming to QE in year 10, I remember my father telling me, "Stay hungry, stay foolish," before parting. While the Undercroft may have kept me hungry, I suppose my father meant it in another way. After all the new experiences here, I feel I have fulfilled his dream. It was a bumpy journey, to say the least, but the cuts have healed and the bruises have faded. Friendships have been formed and memories have been made. I may be physically leaving here with certificates, but it will be the fond memories I will remember when I look back upon my time here at QE. They have helped me grow and mature as a person, and to realize that what mattered the most was the journey, the people on it, and the faith that the dots will connect to a fruitful destination. Fellow soon-to-be Ethelbergians, as we walk out of those gates in the car park for the last time in a few hours, I wish you every success in whichever path you decide to embark on next. It has been a true honor. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker this afternoon, Mylene Klaas. The list of her achievements is great, but I thought I'd just keep it pure and simple. Some of us may know her from the famous pop group Hearsay, where the group released one of the fastest-selling singles ever. She has also presented many iconic programs such as The One Show, X Factor, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and the Classical Brit Awards. The list goes on, so without further ado, from myself, ladies and gentlemen, Mylene Klaas.
Thank you very much. That was quite an introduction. I haven't heard that pure and simple gag in quite a while, so thank you for that. Thank you so much for having me here today. I haven't written a speech, and I'll tell you why. I wanted to come and meet you. I wanted to see for myself what goes on here and react to that, and it's just been extraordinary. Thank you to the staff, to Miss Amy for having me here today, to the students that I've met, albeit very briefly, what incredible ambassadors you are, and also, of course, to some of the parents. Some of you have actually asked why I'm not on Smooth Radio, because you've heard that I'm on Smooth Radio right now, and I'll let you into a little secret. I am on Smooth Radio. I just pre-recorded it a few days ago and left the weather quite vague in my description. I'm also on Classic FM tonight as well. Same excuse. I wanted to be here. It's an extraordinarily important day. I remember when I walked out, as you leavers of 29 are to do so in a few hours, and it is a remarkable feeling, one of liberation and one of slight fear. For me, I was brought up in Norfolk. My parents were from different sides of the globe, like many of you. My dad from Austria. He was a Navy engineer, a Royal Navy engineer. So I had to learn to fix everything in my house. My mum, she's from the Philippines, and she worked as a nurse. So I had a very humble upbringing. I never had the opportunity to attend a school quite like this one, and I do wonder what would have happened had I done so. I'm already thinking about signing my own daughters up and just moving from London to York, because this place really is quite extraordinary. It's quite magical, the way that everyone seems to feel about it. It's thoroughly exciting. Growing up in Norfolk, I decided I was going to be a classical musician. I'm from 6 generations on my dad's side. It's what we did. And I trained, and I got the opportunity to attend the Royal Academy of Music. And then I kind of changed my mind. And that is, I think, a huge lesson for many. Don't pigeonhole yourselves. Yes, you are winning awards in chemistry and in engineering and in mathematics, and it is highly admirable. But I wouldn't say that you are just one-dimensional people. For me, if people just kept me in my little box, as it were, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to have done some of the jobs or experience some of the experiences that I have had, and I would hate that for anybody. When I left music college, I then went into a show called Miss Saigon for a whole year. I wanted to be in the West End, and then after a year of being in the West End, I decided I don't want to be in the West End doing the same thing every single day in, day out for the rest of my life, and so I joined a pop band. And it did all right. For 2 years, we did okay. I paid off my student loan, and the great thing with being in a pop band is I learnt how to market. A lot of people say, do you regret being in Hearsay? And I'm like, I've got absolutely zero regrets, because for me, I learned about the marketing side. I'll let you into a little secret, other than the fact that I'm going to be on the radio. Another little secret is that we made more money in Hearsay, not from the recordings, not from the touring, but from the Dealey Boppers. We sold Dealey Boppers, I kid you not. We sold so many of these Dealey Boppers that it came to the point that if we were late opening the doors on tour, I got palpitations because I knew that it would have a massive knock-on effect to my paycheck. Now, learning how to market, or maybe branding, maybe so is a more appropriate way of putting it, then opened up other doors for me. I now have a brand with a store called Mothercare. Very handy right now, I can tell you that. But it's the longest celebrity branding that has run in the UK. I've been with them now for 12, nearly 13 years, not to be shirked, not to be laughed at. Because what I discovered with working with Mothercare, who took a massive chance on me, by the way, I approached them and I said, I'm about to have a daughter. Everything in the shops is pink or lemon or blue, that insipid lemon that people just throw their children into that I just didn't want. I wanted black, I wanted monochrome. They said it's too morbid, there's no chance. We can't have our babies in these colours. But one person did take a chance on me. And we marketed it, we kept it more Mediterranean, we certainly sold it in as very practical. My range is now in 33 countries. Now, as I said, I started off as a classical musician. I didn't have the first idea about how to market a product. I had a slight idea, having a Chinese grandfather, about textiles and how to sew, but other than that, it was all new to me. Fast forward, here I am 12, 13 years on with the brand in 33 countries, which is extraordinary. I now find myself having to remember the cultural differences of design. Now, again, to be in such a culturally diverse room with a culturally diverse background myself, you'd think that I would have had half an idea, or that my team at Mothercare would have had half an idea. But there have been a lot of surprises. I can give you a story of when I stood up and did a franchise meeting. My best-selling T-shirt, I was selling 5,000 to 10,000 of these T-shirts, had a little dog on them, a cute little puppy, and I thought, this is a surefire hit. Hello, Russia. Hello, UAE. Would you like to buy, hello, China. Would you like to buy this T-shirt? Would you like to franchise it out to your countries? Everyone else seemed to quietly take a few of these orders on board. But the people I really wanted to have taken on board was the UAE, because that's the second highest selling place for baby clothes, who knew, in the world. No interest whatsoever. And then it dawned on me, dogs are not necessarily as au fait in that country as they are in our country. You certainly don't wear them on T-shirts. You certainly don't put your children in them. So I had to think on my feet. When I say it's a puppy, it's actually a wolf. And when I say it's a wolf, we're going to put sunglasses on it. Bam. We sold 10,000 into the UAE. It became my best-selling T-shirt. And we still, 10 years down the line, make that T-shirt. Incidentally, it's also worth knowing for the fashion division that I sell the most baby grows and cozy toes in the UAE, not in Russia, because of the air conditioning. So it's always good to have half an idea of what's going on culturally, but also what beliefs are. I'm not allowed to put fairies on pajamas. I'm not allowed to put owls on pajamas. They're seen as the harbinger of death. I'm not allowed to use the colour purple. I'm not allowed to use the colour white. I'm not allowed to use a 6-point star. So all of these things that people take for granted, you think, well, surely you can have fairies on a pajama outfit and surely it will sell hundreds, thousands, maybe in the UK, but certainly not abroad. What has been great about this is learning to diversify. A little story I told earlier on as well is when you guys go forward and you get your work experience placements or your jobs, please make sure you know where the kettle is. Please make sure you know how to make the people you are working with a cup of tea. Highly important. And I tell this story because I've recently experienced one girl at my work at Classic FM and at Smooth, who has a father in a very high position who came for work experience and was asked to make the tea. And she said, well, that wasn't really my job. That wasn't in my job description. My dad wouldn't really be happy with that. It's not what he signed me up for. Now, I was absolutely shocked because Moira Stewart, who reads the news, makes me a cup of tea most mornings. I would argue it definitely is not in Moira's job description to make me a cup of tea. But what I mean by that is no job too big, no job too small. You all have to muck in. You all have to just get involved. Another person who did make me my tea is a chap called Marcus, who I worked with at CNN. I was presenting. He was an intern, not making much money, if any at all, spoke 4 languages, came over from Germany, was an incredible producer. 6 months down the line, He is now one of the head honchos at CNN, and he gives me my work. And there is a lot to be said about that, about just getting involved, about just being part of the team. Now for me, I did start off as a classical musician. I have gone into branding, releasing my own ranges. I've also done modelling. I have pointed out I am actually 5'5", most models are 5'7", but that also brings a point of difference. You don't need to fit in. You don't need to look like everybody else. You certainly don't need to listen to what everyone else says, how they say it, what they think you should be doing. Do it your way. Certainly don't pay attention to what anybody else says or thinks. I have stood on a box next to Erin O'Connor, next to Twiggy, next to Lily Cole, because people have realised that actually I would still sell more clothes just being a normal girl than the supermodels themselves. Something else that struck me as I heard your head boy speaking is when I started off, you talk about different paths to go down. When I started off, before I became a classical musician, I actually wanted to be an engineer. And the first competition I ever won was something called Young Engineer of the Year, where you had to make something completely, a functioning item, completely out of paper. So I made a Ferris wheel with little cogs, just interlinking, and I was so proud of it. And whilst I got the chance to meet an idol of mine, Carol Vorderman, who now has become a friend and helps my daughters with their math homework, what was remarkable for me is that although I don't necessarily see myself as an engineer or have gone down that route per se, it's given me opportunities to work as an NGO with Save the Children. I've been to Nepal. I've helped to build houses in the Philippines after typhoons. I've been to Afghanistan. I've flown out with the army to Iraq and seen how they built splints for Afghani children in the hospitals and helped there. Again, another route that I would never, ever have thought possible as a classical musician. And when you look at the list, or when you read out that list, and I think to myself, those things were never in the plan. There were never things that I even thought would be possible for somebody like me. I've done them because I wrote my own job description. But the one thing that does tie all of these things together, because you're not one-dimensional, there are going to be things that you have so many interests in, is a passion. Hold on to the passion that you have. Hold on to the friendships that you have, because you're going to need your friends. They're going to need to support you, because it's easy when you're succeeding, so easy. And when you're failing, and when you're holding up that t-shirt and it's got a dog on it and everybody's deciding to fire you in about 5 seconds and you're turning it around again, it'll be your friends as well that celebrate not only your successes, but gee, you back up there. And ultimately, keep working hard. As a guest speaker, if I was to impart any words of advice, I would say, as I've said before, make a good cup of tea and don't be late. Thank you.
We now move on to the presentation of the Year and Progress Prizes for years 10 to 12. We start with the Year Prizes for the college. Year 12, Timothy Sang. Year 11, Matthew Homer. Year 10, Rachel Lamb. One year GCSE, Dennis Lee. And for the prep course, James Zhao. And the year prizes for the faculty, Year 12, Alexandra Collinson. Year 11, Jemima Harrison. Year 10, Mario Matos. The progress prizes for the college are awarded to Year 12, Bradley Sheck. Year 11, Catherine Choi. Year 10, Jessica Ferguson. And 1 year GCSE, Catherine Liang. The Progress Prizes for the faculty, Year 12, Harvey York. Year 11, Emma Blunstone. And Year 10, Georgia Gordon. The Key Stage 4 subject prizes for the college are presented to Rihanna Theakston for English, Mathematics, Gillian Chan, Science, Parsa Samimi, Humanities, Sophia Liversidge. Modern Foreign Languages, Poppy Underwood. And the Key Stage 4 subject prizes for the faculty, English goes to Nicole Serio-Joseph. Mathematics, Ashley Hammond. Science, Connor Owen. Humanities, Lily Beth Hobson. Modern Foreign Languages, Sabrina Serio-Joseph. And the subject prizes across both the college and faculty are awarded to Sudi Rai for art, Business Studies to Michelle Lamb, Computing, Trevor Wang, Drama, Cyrus Sarabini, Music, Harvey Aldershaw, Dedication to Girls Sport is awarded to Abby Wilkinson. Dedication to Boys Sport is presented to John T. Maney.
We now move on to the Key Stage 5 subject prizes. These are awarded to our Year 13 students who have demonstrated commitment and excellence in a particular subject during their sixth form studies. This will be followed by the collegiate prizes awarded for notable success at a whole school level. Today marks the final day at QE for all our Year 13s, and whether you're awarded a prize today or not, please know that we are incredibly proud of you. Congratulations, Year 13s. Begin with the art prize, which goes to Carwing Tam. Biology Prize is Kai Wang. The BTEC Applied Science Prize goes to Imogen Emmett. And the winner of the Business Studies Prize is Charles Mayer. Perkin Elmer Prize for Chemistry is won by Maya Dudko. The Design Technology Prize goes to Abigail Ingledew. The winner of the Economics Prize, Shibo Chen. The Bronte Prize for English goes to Winnie Lee. The Newton Raphson Prize for Further Mathematics is won by Jing Zheng. The winner of the Geography Prize, Edward Lake. And the Government and Politics Prize goes to Catherine Kelly. History Prize goes to Jane Zheng. The winner of the ICT Prize, Jackson Wang. And the Law Prize goes to Charlotte Chan. Winner of the Mathematics Prize, Grace Chan. The Modern Foreign Languages Prize goes to Agna Chungbang. And the Music Prize, you've heard him already, Freeman Locke. You've heard from this one as well, the Performing Arts Prize, Jack Gallagher. The Physics Prize goes to Derek Lee. And the Psychology Prize to Joki Chung. Now have two sports prizes. The Dedication to Boys Sport is won by Louis Mullen. And Dedication to Girls Sport, Alice Miller.
Now the collegiate prizes. The Hill Standard Prize is awarded to the student who typifies to be the best that they can with the gifts that they have, and this year it is awarded to Kevin Williams. The Armitage Prize is awarded for outstanding contribution from an international student, and this year it is awarded to Michael Medjidov. Collegiate Board Award for Achievement in Year 11 2018 for a college student is awarded to Alicia Moyo. And the Collegiate Board Award for Achievement in Year 11 for 2018 for a faculty student is awarded to Rebecca Simpson. Collegiate Board Award for Achievement in Year 13 for 2018 is awarded to Henry James Hatton. And for equally strong achievement in Year 13 2018 for a college student, Brandon Leno. Collegiate Board Award for Achievement in Year 13 2018 for a faculty student is awarded to Ella Deaton. The Principal's Award for Head Boy for 2018-19 goes to Johnny Lee. And the Principal's Award for Head Girl 2018-19 goes to Mia Carter. The last cup is awarded to the winner of the house competition for 2018-19. Students are awarded house points for their approach to their studies, their contribution to activities in school life, their helpfulness and their support for the school. I would like to invite the Year 13 house prefects on stage to receive the cup on behalf of the winning house, which this year is Cantwara.
My Alien class, honoured guests, the Collegiate Board, ladies and gentlemen, staff, and most importantly, students. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. Now, unlike our incredible speaker, I do have a short speech, I'm not quite that talented, but on behalf of both myself and the Collegiate, I would like to thank you for sharing some of your experiences and advice today. At the end of the school year, it can be interesting to reflect on how the year has gone, the mistakes we've made and how we've learnt from them, how these have helped us to grow, and to consider what the next year will hold. And your speech today perfectly complemented this. What struck me most were your comments on not pigeonholing yourself and not being one-dimensional. And this is something which we have the opportunity to do here at QE, with the incredible range, both academically and extracurricularly, as you all heard from Mr. Jandal's speech earlier. However, what's also important to think about is that, as well as the incredible prize winners today, there are so many more people that have done amazing things, and I'd like to propose a round of applause for all the people who haven't won prizes today, but have made just as much of a contribution. Following that, your key message about making a cup of tea for everyone is extremely important. We all see the incredible grounds, the phenomenal buildings, but behind that is an amazing team of estates, housekeeping, cleaners, groundsmen, who the foundation of this school relies upon, as well as the teachers, and then, of course, the students who make the body of the school. This is a school of individuals, but despite our diversity and our differences, we are a community. And I think your final message about the importance of friends is a key one. As Johnny mentioned earlier, although we may be physically leaving today, we will leave with incredible friendships, important lessons learned, and the hope that everything will work out in the future. As you exemplified, that might not be the way that we imagine it now, but it will be just as important. Once again, thank you, and please accept this gift on behalf of us all.
love.